Hello.
Hello.
Just before we kick off, I know you've said the past couple ones have had audio issues. Is that all good?
I fucking hope so.
Okay.
Like, the issue I had on my end was that, um, words. I turned up the gain on my microphone to fuck around with the thing, and then I turned it back down, but it didn't really turn it back down.
Hmm.
So, if yeah, everything sounded really fucking weird, but I think I've done something to fix that now.
Okay, good. Discord's been fucky with the connection and all that, so
I wouldn't know.
I've just got the pop up right now.
Oh,
Um,
my one says it's big and it's green.
Mine is medium and orange. Well, okay, how are you?
I am at this very moment the best I've been all week.
Hmm. Yeah, you've been sick, right?
Yeah, I have had the flu all week, and it's been an interesting experience because
Hmm.
I've never had the flu before. Like it's one of those things where it's like, I've had bad colds, and then it's like, oh, maybe this is the flu, and then you have the flu, and like, no, this is the flu.
Yeah.
That was a bad cold. Um, yeah, it's not been fun. I've been off work since Tuesday,
Oh.
and I mean, it kind of works out. I'm gonna get the entire week off because Monday or Sunday is Anzac Day,
Hmm.
25th of April. But because it's on a Sunday, we have Anzac Day observed on Monday. So I won't be going back into work until Tuesday, which is
Nice.
I don't
I
know.
guess.
It's kind of pog, but I'll be honest, I would have rather been working than had the flu.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's
I can imagine.
have you had the flu? Fun.
No, I must admit, no, I haven't.
Yeah, it's I don't want to go into this like, oh, let me tell you like how bad the flu is. You don't even know. It fucking sucks.
Hmm.
Like I because everything was, well, the thing that made it worse is like I promised to do a bunch of shit this week at work on Monday,
Right.
and then on Tuesday like everything just goes to shit
Hmm.
because yeah, I woke up at about like 1 a.m. on Tuesday to, and I was like, oh, I need to go take a piss, and then I get up, go take a piss, and I feel kind of like numb. I think is the only way I can really put it. It's like everything feels a bit dulled and shit. I was like,
Hmm.
whatever, and then I go back to bed, wake up at about 3, and start heading to work. So something feels a bit off, but yeah, fuck it, we'll go to work anyway and see how it goes. Tell my supervisor like, hey, uh, I'm kind of playing it by ear at the moment. Uh, you know, I might just like head home halfway through the day. About 30 to 40 minutes in, the myalgia kicks in, which is like the bone and joint pain,
Yeah, yeah,
which is
yeah.
supposed to be a good thing, but god, fucking damn, that shit is like just, it hurts to move.
yeah. My aunt has bad fibromyalgia.
But yeah, it's so like trying to crawl myself around a warehouse for like 30 minutes was an interesting experience, and just seeing like how much my strength was like sapped.
Mm,
Like normally around the warehouse I'm chucking 40 kilos of shit like it's nothing, and then
yeah.
I'm struggling to try and get like a 20-kilo bag of flour up to my waist.
Mm,
So I kind of just went home at 5. So I'd basically just been there an hour. I'd hope to have made it to about 6, so like around the time there's break time, I would have just gone home. But it's like, nah, 5 o'clock, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Went to the petrol station, grabbed as much like paracetamol as I could, and then went to sleep. And that's basically like the first 2 days was just sleeping. Like I must have slept 20 something hours a day.
Wait, 20?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Like, nap for 3 hours, wake up for about an hour, check my phone. Around that point, I realized no one actually told my boss that I had fucked off with the flu.
So they just thought you were like skiving or something.
Yeah, so he sent me a text at like 10 o'clock. He's like, "Where the fuck are you?" And then I just like went back to sleep, answered it again, and I was like, "Oh, I'm asleep because I'm not got the flu and shit." So that was fun. But the issue going into this is like the first time I've been really, really sick in like, well, basically since I was 10. Like this is the worst it's been since I had pneumonia when I was like 9 or something. So 15 years, but it's the first time in about 8 years I would have had to have gone and seen a doctor about it. Because I knew I'm gonna be here a while. I'll need to get like a medical certificate for work to say that, yeah, this guy shouldn't be coming into fucking work.
Yeah.
The issue is I don't have a doctor. Because
You're not even like token registered at a GP.
Yeah, I'm not token registered at a GP because I haven't seen a GP in that fucking long. Like they send me a letter to like, hey, like you haven't seen us in like this long. Come and register with it. And I kind of looked at it and I was like, oh fuck it, I'll do it later. And then I just never did it. So it's like, oh, this is an issue. But I found my out, and that was based COVID. Where I just got a COVID test and like, yeah, you've got a COVID test, like you can't go to work now. It's like, sweet. Turns out I don't have COVID. And I mean, I could have told you that by like answering the fucking questions. Because it's like, I had the flu. I didn't have any like respiratory issues.
Yeah.
Like I had every symptom that was on the. In rare cases, it can manifest as this, like myalgia, like fever, headaches, and shit. Literal like shits. And so it's like, okay, that qualifies me to go get like the COVID test. But then you also answer all the questions like, have you been overseas in the past 2 weeks? And you're like, no. Have you seen anyone who's been overseas in the past 2 weeks? And like, no. Have you worked in like international shipping? And it's like, no. Like, have you gotten the vaccine? And you're like, no. It's like, okay. We think you should get a test. And so I got the test and my little certificate. They even gave me a little card really, saying like, go get a fucking GP. So this is the first. It's actually kind of useful because I didn't even know how to fucking start this process. Like, do I just go knocking on doors like, hey, I'm probably never gonna see you, but can you like put me down? And I looked into it. What was it, yesterday, or I don't know. The dates are kind of just all merged together. But I checked through it like the day after I got the test, which came back negative. Surprising fucking no one.
That's good.
And in a move that surprises absolutely no one, like no GP is taking in people.
Yeah.
There's about 7 of them. 7 of the 30 GPs in my region are taking in new patients, and 5 of those are like technically in the region,
but not within like an accessible distance.
Yeah, no, that like they're all on the outskirt towns of the region I'm in, and some of them are quite literally over the mountain ranges.
So
Yeah,
not ideal.
it's far from fucking ideal. Like it would take. Hang on, if I just go to like Google Maps, if I click from like here to here, it's like a hour-long drive through mountains,
Hmm.
which is not fun. It's it's a fucking nightmare going through there. Based like New Zealand terrain. It's hard to explain without getting specific. Anyway, that's like they're all there, and then there's two in there. There was actually two in my city or town, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And how do I read like the Google reviews, and I don't know whether or not to believe them
Hmm.
because like if you go by the reviews, they're like 1 and 2 stars. They're absolute fucking garbage.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I know that there's this like bias. Like very rarely does anyone feel like they need to go through the effort of giving someone a positive review when
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
had a good
The only
time.
the only people who are going to review it will be people who had a bad experience.
Yeah, and at the same time, all of those people are just like fucking Karens. Yeah, I tried to take my son in with a fucking whatever the fuck, and actually, let's go read some of them. Hang on, because well, no shit, they're closed at the moment. It's 6 a.m. Oh yeah, it's just like the doctor was nice, and but the receptionist was mean to me. She looked at me funny,
Hmm.
and yeah, I don't know. But I'm not sure whether or not to actually believe it or not. And at the same time, like, why the fuck do I care? Because it's
Because you're not
been,
going to use it.
yeah, because I haven't been to a fucking doctor in 8 years.
Hmm.
I'm not, and anything that I'm sitting there thinking like, fuck, I actually really need to go see a doctor. I'm going to the hospital. I'm not going to
Yeah.
my GP because my fucking arm is missing. I'm going to my doctor because it's like, oh shit, I got the flu. I need like a piece of paper that says I'm good to not go to work.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't know, maybe I should just go to this really shit one. We'll see how it goes.
I mean,
I,
I, I, I don't have like I remember like 2 years ago I had to go to the doctors for something, and I learned that because I hadn't been in so long, um, they just removed me from their shit. So they were like, "We're not your doctor." And I was like, "No, no, no, I went here when I was like 12," and they dug out my record from the like room or whatever they have them in. I was like, "Oh yeah, you just haven't been in 4 years." It's like, well, the government's always telling us not to go to the doctor because the NHS is overloaded. So I don't go to the doctor, and then you just tell us, well, you're not here anymore. So
it's a weird one. Fuck, what else happened during all this? And I had a bath for the first time in like over 10 years as well.
hmm.
That was interesting.
How is it interesting?
I don't know. It's just like revisiting all the. I don't know how to explain it, but like all the things you can do in a bath that you can't do in a shower, like just be under the water. Feels
Mm,
like dealing with surface tension. I don't know, like there's a lot of like, I don't know, physics principles that you can experience in a bath that you can't experience in a shower, and I don't know, it's nice to be reminded of those.
I guess. Sure.
It's I know it sounds really fucking dumb, and it is like nothing's happened to me past 2 weeks except for this flu. Like I have no idea what the fuck to talk about. I know conveniently like SSG has done a bunch of interesting stuff. I think. I know he played Noita.
Interesting's a strong word. I won't have that accusation thrown
I mean,
around.
like, what's the plan? Like, we're talking about what football and Noita. That's all I know.
Football, Noita, I guess, crossword, uni.
Crosswords have become a thing. In fact, we just did a crossword.
Yeah. Well, where would you like to begin then?
Up to you. You're going to be like the one leading the charge for most of this. We've got my one topic out of the way.
All right, fair enough. So yeah, so crosswords. Uh, we do them on Biko now every day. We do the crossword together.
If you would like to do the crossword with us, you can join Biko, link in the description below.
Indeed. So it started because I began getting newspapers. Um, I guess because it was like something to get, I suppose, but also um, this is a bit weird, but like for me, my glasses last about 2 years, or I should say, like my prescription lasts about 2 years. Um, the last few times I've got glasses, when sort of after 2 years, it gets to the point where there's no real difference between if I'm wearing glasses or if I'm not. And unless I strain my eyes, I can't read without glasses. Everything's blurry. Not like really blurry, like I can't move around, but just like I can't make out any
What?
form of writing.
Yeah.
Um, but also, I can only focus in at things at certain distances. They have to be really close. I can't focus on something far away. Um, so after about 2 years, I just have to get new glasses, and because I'm a cheap bastard, I will always ride it out as long as possible. Because you know, glasses and all that aren't free. So, um, especially now I'm an adult, I've got to pay for them myself. So
Yeah,
right now I'm.
I don't quite
Oh, sorry.
understand how like how the glasses like deteriorate.
So it's not. It's the prescription, like the lenses, and it's because my eyes change. So I have sort of like my problem with like my problem. My prescription isn't like a normal one. It's rather than having one really big problem that like most people have, you need like a strong lens. Because if you only require like a weak lens, you can like pick them up at like the local shop, right? Or any sort of store that has a bunch of reading glasses.
Yeah.
Um, but for anything with like an actual like you need a lens for it. Um, typically it's like somebody's got a really bad stigmatism or really bad whatever. Like I don't know. Um,
Your eyes are fucked up.
Whereas for me, it's like more like I have a bunch of small problems. So I have astigmatism in both eyes, but they're different uh, to different amounts, and they fluctuate because your eyes, grow and shrink over time. So
your
the
mum
way.
like take a bath in raw sewage while she was pregnant with you or something?
No, but it's interesting you bring my mother into it. She has an incredibly bad stigmatism, so that's from her. And then it's just a bunch of general short-sightedness, and the optician last time I went because
Your
the
eyes
last
are
time I
like
went.
your eyes by themselves are basically a fucking Tumblr profile. Look at me,
Like
how fucked up I am.
so the last time I went, because that was the first time I was paying for everything myself, I was very specific and I wanted to know exactly what I was paying for. But he just said a bunch of stuff that I didn't really understand.
That's how they get you.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not exactly sure, but my understanding is it's essentially a bunch of like minor problems. If I only had one of them, then it would be really easy to get a lens. But because I have a bunch of them, for me getting lenses takes like a week or two to make them, and they're a bit more expensive. Honestly, it's probably just a graft or whatever. But also, apparently, prescriptions shouldn't change that much in a couple of years. Mine do. Mine always have. So, yeah, when we're approaching about month 19, month 20. So I'm going to ride these out as long as possible, but it's already getting to the point where at certain distances, like if I'm focusing with, like sometimes I have to focus my eyes, like strain my eyes, even just with my glasses on, which over time really does start to hurt them. And looking at screens and such is not great. So I started like reading more books and shit, just because looking at a screen all the time is starting to hurt, and it's probably best for me. So, but I guess I just didn't really have anything I wanted to read, so I started getting the newspaper, and kind of enjoyed it. And I was talking about like, doing the crossword, but like how some of the crosswords are really difficult. And so I was talking about it with a bunch of the lads.
If
And
you
I
want to
just sort of
become a lad, you can join the
you've, al-
Discord link in
you've
the
already
description
chilled it.
below.
You've already chilled it. So I just sort of said offhandedly, Biko stream the crossword when, and Manlet went now. So we did it, and it was actually kind of fun. So we kept doing it, and now it's been nearly 2 weeks, I think. No, sorry, it's been a bit over a week.
Yeah,
Now.
I mean, we can go to announcements and we can check all of them. So we've got one. Thanks, Rat Virus. Very cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so yeah, a bit over a week.
Right. But yeah, it's surprisingly fun, and we get a bunch of people now who do it. So
Yeah, I mean, I show up when I can.
yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of people like that.
It's just
like not everyone's a regular, of course, but
yeah, but it's just a matter of like when I can is quite literally like maybe 50. Maybe I can sneak it and we're halfway through it on my break.
And
by that point,
yeah.
I'm saying that word that we already filled in, but nobody's updated shit. It's a true embarrassment. You don't want to be that guy.
But yeah, that's the crosswords. They're fun. I get the Guardian because I am a left-wing intellectual. So we do the Guardian.
I think we went through this, but what is the what is the Tory paper?
So there's a bunch, and it depends on how you define paper as well.
An actual news, okay, we'll put it has to have a crossword in it.
Okay. Right.
Like,
Well,
like,
so
I,
so
I- like I don't want fucking like newsletters from the militia.
yeah. That's not what I mean. Like, okay, so in the UK we have sort of two categories of newspaper. We have broadsheets, and then we have tabloids. Um, they used to refer to the actual size of the newspaper, but now like all newspaper are like tabloid size. So now it's sort of like the sort of standard of journalism would be a rough one, but
Yeah,
also just
yeah. Tabloid was always, as far as I knew, was always more of a gossip thing.
yeah, and had naked women on like page 3 and shit like that. So
Really?
yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
I've been
It
missing
was
that.
actually a bit because they used to, because it was like topless and stuff. Um, and in the UK, the age of consent is 16. Um, they would have countdowns. They'd post basically a picture of a girl who was 15 and they had contact with, and there would be a daily countdown to her birthday, to her 16th birthday, and then on her 16th birthday, you'd get to see her tits. But before that was actually because of a law, because they used to do like 14.
Oh
14, 15.
god, that is so fucking seedy.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Oh god, it's like
I mean, I'll shout out the papers, the Sun, the Star.
yeah, it reminds me of that the ancient meme back when like it still wasn't entirely cool to hate on Harry Potter, where you just
Hmm.
have like Voldemort almost touching Harry. You remember the one
No,
image? Maybe no. Okay, never
no.
mind. Maybe our listeners do. Maybe I'm just embarrassing myself now. Uh,
uh, but yeah, so yeah, broadsheets were what you would traditionally call newspapers, I guess. But tabloids also typically have higher circulation. So, like the Sun is the most read newspaper in the UK, even though a lot of people would maybe not consider it a newspaper. But it's printed on newspaper. It's daily. Does have journalism in it.
I
So,
mean, I'd consider the Sun a newspaper.
well, yeah, exactly. But that's in sort of UK parlance. That's not. It's a type of newspaper, but it's a tabloid. So, um, whereas the Daily Mail is considered a proper newspaper, but it's shit on a lot. So, um,
Weird if that's the one I've read like articles from. I don't know.
you read articles from the day.
I mean, obviously, like, I've read articles from fucking every fucking news site. It's just a matter of remembering which ones are based and which ones are cringe.
The Daily Mail does a lot of the anti-immigration stuff.
Oh, so they're the base
The
one. Okay.
Yeah, they also do a lot of like they're the most tabloidy of the papers. So it's like Scottish man thanks NHS for removing Crunchy Bar from his arse, right? Like that sort of stuff. But in a proper newspaper, right? Like
That's top tier fucking journalism.
whereas the Sun would actually post a picture of his arse with with the Crunchy Bar in it,
Oh fuck,
So
that's what I needed to do with my life. I needed to go to medical school. Not to go, not to like become a doctor, but just to become friends with everyone who becomes doctors. And then start a journalism career where like hit up on my own as I was like, so what fucked up shit came into the ER today?
Oh, hang on, sorry. I've just searched up. Sorry, the Daily Mail is actually considered a tabloid. It used to be considered a broadsheet. Now it's considered a tabloid. My bad. Okay, so to go through them. So of the proper newspapers, to basically answer your question, Tories read everything other than the Guardian. Right? Like so you have the sort of the three big daily papers that are, proper papers. Are the Daily Telegraph, the Times, and the Guardian. Both the Daily Telegraph and the Times are of a conservative leaning. The Telegraph more so, I'd say, like slightly more so, whereas the Times is a bit more status quo, like it's the most center.
I see.
And the Guardian is like center left. So the Guardian pretty much always goes Labour. So yeah, then you have like the Financial Times. So the joke I said to you was like fake Tories read the Daily Mail. Normal Tories would read, the Times or the Telegraph, and real Tories read the Financial Times. So they don't give a shit.
I have money.
You also have so the Observer is just the Guardian on Sundays, and then you do have like I and the Independent. The Independent though went online only.
Sorry, I'm just imagining like the next emote in the server Guardian on Sundays.
So the Independent actually was the first paper in the UK to actually not like go bankrupt, but just remove newspapers and just became an online thing. And then I was an offshoot of the Independent, and that's its paper now. But it's owned by the guys who do the Daily Mail. But it's not like the Daily Mail. It's, a decent, like, normal sort of center paper, basically. But it's a new paper. It's like from the 2010s. So, and then the tabloids. Yeah, you've got the Daily Mail. So the Daily Mail, the Daily Express, and the Sun. They're all right wing. The Daily Mirror is the Daily Mirror is centre left apparently. And then the Daily Star and the Morning Star. Yeah. Oh, and you also have the Evening Standard, which is like, it's a London paper. So it's like a local paper to London, but it's sold all across the UK. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Kinda does. I'm also slightly distracted.
Oh. It's my riveting talk about British journalism, not.
I'll be honest, not as interesting as I hoped it would. In other news, the High School Fleet event for World of Warships has returned.
Is it the fake one? Is it the fake one or the real one?
What do you mean, the fake one or the real one?
Like, is it like their girls, or is it like a collab with an actual ship girl company?
Wait, have you not heard of High School Fleet?
So yeah. I'm looking at it now. It's an actual. Is this an actual anime?
Yeah, this is like Girls on Panzer for boat shit.
Yeah. So, okay, yeah. So that's not there, right? Because World of Warships have done like 3 or 4 different ship girl collabs.
Yeah, I know they've done like Azerland. I know they've done Arpeggio.
Yeah,
and I know they've done High School Fleet beforehand.
Yeah, they've also done Kantai Collection on the Asia server.
Yes, that makes sense.
But they like their first sort of foray, I think, was their own original stuff.
What like OC ship girl shit.
Yeah.
Now High School Fleet is its own independent thing that never really took off.
Right. I've never heard of it.
It's worth watching, I'd say. Like, it's just more fucking Yeah, like Girls on Panzer, but now they're on boats.
Mm. It looks cute, the art here.
Oh, it is cute. Um,
Ooh, I do like the Sailor Fuku uniforms.
oh, we get it, you're a pedophile. But yeah, aside from that, Koei Tecmo is having a sale.
Yeah, I looked at it, not really interested.
I don't know. I mean, Neo is.
Atelier, I don't know. I had a look. The girl seemed cute, but
I mean, I'm kind of interested in it at the same time. Like that's more a matter of I got a friend who's playing through them, so I'd get his input before I buy any of them.
yeah. Also, it's like a Japanese sale, which means it's like 10% off.
I mean, Neo's like pretty like 70% off, and I'm kind of interested in that one. Which is, that one like Soulsborne game that everyone kind of forgot about, except for the people that actually liked it. I'm kind of interested, and but I don't know, I've got other shit to deal with. Especially now that I've finally got my Microsoft shit sorted. That's the thing I've wanted to do all week, but my brain has been so fucking fried. And that going back to being sick, that's the thing that kind of like stood out to me about this. Like, I've been sick before, but I was never so sick that I couldn't be fucked doing anything.
Yeah.
Like, growing up, I'd have a cold or whatever the fuck. Even when I had pneumonia, I still had enough capacity to just like sit on the couch under a blanket and watch daytime television or play PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
But this time around, I couldn't sit at my desk and just watch shit. I had to like just go fall asleep. Never mind fucking playing anything. Like this entire I started watching Cells at Work season 2. Partly because I'm sick, partly because it's been on my shit to do list. And I'm only 2 episodes in because I just can't. I can't concentrate.
Yeah.
The thing I've been watching has been like Diablo 2 speed runs and shit because I can. That's like low brain energy enough that I can just kind of like lean back in the chair and go like, "Yep, I understand what's going on." I couldn't play Diablo 2, but I can watch it.
Fair dues.
Speaking of which, that's getting its HD remaster soon.
Yeah, but it's Blizzard, so.
Yeah. I'm gonna hold out. I mean, at the on terms of other things coming out, end of the month, Total War Rome remastered, as like a bunch of the things I follow on YouTube have been sponsored by based tasting history.
Is that the guy who eats old MREs?
No, that's Steve MRE 1989 or something. No, tasting history is this gay dude in California who just like makes old like dishes. Like he pulls up the old like recipe books from like the 13th century that say absolutely fucking nothing. And he's been doing Rome month this month, sponsored by Creative Assembly.
Awesome, that actually sounds like something I'll check out.
He's a cool dude. Yeah, tasting history with Matt Miller. I'm pretty sure it is. They're like 20 minutes long. Something nice to zone out to.
Yeah, I'll just put it in my search history so I can easily find it. Yeah, I mean, my first Total War game was actually Rome 2. I've never played Rome.
I played the shit out of Rome because it was like the only thing that could run on my toaster.
Mm.
I had played Medieval 2 before that, but that one was a bit too resource intensive for the toaster.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't mind going back to Rome 1, so that's probably on my shit to do list. But going back, I can finally get fucking Halo to work because that's I tried playing. I brought the Master Chief Collection, yeah, like a while back during Christmas or something,
Mm.
and I wanted to start playing it back in February, but because it's like Microsoft, that like sign into your Microsoft account,
Yeah.
and the issue with this is the first ever, instance of Moonbear on meth was my Xbox Live account back when I was 16, 17.
Mm.
The issue is it predates the email of Moonbear on meth. So it's on one of my
Oh,
old like Hotmail accounts,
yeah.
and I couldn't transfer it. So basically, I nuked the entire Hotmail account, and because that takes a while, because they're like not gonna let you do that easily. There's a 60-day like wait period, and it expired on 420. So like I came in yesterday after everything had kind of finally gone through, and I could like the Xbox Live handle Moonbear on Meth was available, so it's now on my main account, which is nice.
Pog.
And I can finally play Halo. All the more so now that I can actually fucking think. That was the great thing about waking up this morning is like there isn't a fog on my brain. This is amazing.
uh, I I've sort of I used to play a lot of Halo. Like before I got my consoles, I was an Xbox kid, right?
Mm.
Um, but I've been really hesitant on the Master Chief Collection because I'm sort of aware of the possibility. Because I think a lot of the Halo games are like fucking amazing, right? But I'm sort of aware of the possibility that maybe that was just the fact that I was like 7 or 8, and maybe they're not actually that good games. And so I think I quite like just having the experiences of grinding Halo 2 on Legendary and being it took me it took me weeks and weeks to do because my brother did it and I don't he said he'd give me like £20 if I was able to do it.
And then you did
And
it, and he didn't pay out.
yeah, pretty much I think that's how it went actually. Yeah. I think I mean, this is ages ago. I think he did get me something, but yeah, I don't think he gave me the money. But yeah, especially for like an 8-year-old, £20 was like all the money in the world, right? The amount of chocolate and Coke I could buy with that,
Wait, how old were you?
like 7 or 8.
Oh yeah, that is a shitload of money.
Yeah, yeah. So I spent weeks and weeks going through it, and I finally was able to do it. It's like one of only 2 Halo games I was ever able to do on Legendary. Um, and yeah, I always have that experience. Fucking hated it at the time, but like, I don't normally play games on like hard and like expert difficulty. Really, I am a certified casual gamer, so
Yeah.
like,
I mean, I'm eager to go through them. Like Halo was always kind of this thing in the distance for me. Like friends had Halo, and if I went over to their place, I'd play Halo.
mm,
I wasn't any fucking good at it,
yeah,
and I mean, I got ODST for myself. That was nice. I finished that on Legendary. But
mm,
I mean, I'm keen to go through them again, or all of them, not necessarily again. And then boom, I've got another like 20 episodes of video footage to put out.
I mean, also, actually, there is a practical concern as well, in that I don't have space for it really, as well.
Oh yeah,
If
I mean, I can understand that because the thing is, like, the Master Chief Collection itself is kind of like just the menu, and then all the games are actually like DLC.
mm,
And I'm looking at the file sizes, and Halo Reach is 13 gigs. Halo 1 is 7.4. Halo 2 is 28. Halo 3 is 8. ODST is 8.9. Halo 4 is 22. So it's
Halo Reach and Halo 2, that sort of. Actually, I'd love to give a proper shot to ODST, because when I actually played ODST as a kid, well, I think that was like low-key maybe the first sort of kind of stealth game I ever played, and I was of course fucking shit at it. You know, I was like, what the fuck? I'm not playing as Master Chief. Um,
I
and
liked ODST. I don't want
well,
to say it often, but it was comfy.
well, no, here's the thing, right? I loved watching my brother play it. In fact, actually, on online handles, my first ever online handle was from Halo 3 ODST. It was rookie something. And,
that's
and then people would give me shit, obviously, because I was calling myself rookie. So when I was trying to play Mass Effect 3 online, people would just say I'm shit. Well, of course you're shit. You're a rookie, and I'd call them the N word or something. You know.
and and now you've upgraded from rookie to Wookie.
Yeah. Actually, shit, I need to change his name back, to be fair.
No, it's fun being Guangzhou Gaming.
We've got Guangdong Gaming, Guangxi Gaming, and Guangzhou Gaming. But
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, just I played a lot of Halo as a kid, but I think if I ever get a new computer which now I was hoping would be this year, but with all the prices, is probably going to be holding off. The fact that my 1070 that I purchased, full price like a month after it released, is worth more now than when I bought it. It's just fucking insane. Like,
yeah, it's an interesting time to be alive.
yeah, but I don't want to live in interesting times. I want to live in times where I can reasonably afford, the 3070. Like, because I remember giving Potato, well, not like giving him shit, but sort of laughing at him a bit because he got the 2080 like 2 months before like a month or two before. It was I think it was a month before the 30 series was announced. Now that's like the greatest decision ever. He's pretty much got the best graphics card you could reasonably buy.
You're always gonna have like regrets like that. Like, I mean, I brought my fucking GTX 970 about 2 weeks before the whole 3.5 gigabytes of VRAM debacle happened.
Right.
And I mean, it's like, oh wow, I should have got a 980, but at the same time, like, not fucking really. It still worked for me.
Yeah.
And I don't think I ever really like stressed it out. At least until like the end, and then by that time I did build a new PC.
Yeah, you got it just before, right?
Just
about the same time as Potato, yeah.
I got it at the start of last year.
Oh no, okay.
So I usually end up building my shit after Christmas. It seems. I say usually, I mean all of 2 instances.
Like, because I was hoping to do it this year, but I held off. But I'd like sort of I'd made a plan to get most of the components sort of by now. But all the important components are really expensive. And at this point, it's like I've got to think of realistic stuff since I will be going to I will actually be commuting next year. And then there's also the problem of if I spend a lot of money on a computer next year, then if everything goes well, I mean, there is like I do have a university section to talk about. But if everything goes well, then next July I'll be moving to Japan, and in that case, I'm gonna have to take my fucking desktop with me. Like, if I get a new one, I might have to. So I might as well just take the L and just wait a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
Because it's not like
what
this computer's doing badly. It's
yeah,
doing
like I
fine.
don't think your computer's bad. I mean, if anything, at that point, I'd just buy like a Chromebook or something. I don't know.
But that's what I did do. Because I was going to spend a decent chunk of money on a laptop, but I ended up just keeping my PC and buying the shittest laptop possible. To be perfectly fair, I fucking hate my Chromebook. It's fucking shite. Like really fucking shite. So honestly, like the only reason why the Chromebook hasn't been an absolute disaster is because I have my desktop and I'm at home all the time. But I will say, like in September, October, I am just gonna have to get like a decent laptop.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, like keep my desktop and then just sell it. It's at some point, or I mean, at least just sell the graphics card. You know,
Sell
but
the
in the
graphics card before you leave, and then just like leave the husk behind, and then when you come back from Japan, like work with it from there.
Yeah, you have quite a nice case actually. I don't clean it anywhere near as much as I should though.
Oh, bro, Sam.
But yeah, like, I think what I might do actually. I mean, you built your own PC, right?
Yeah, the last 2 times.
Yeah. So, oh God, this is something I've watched tons on Linus Tech Tips, right? But I've never done it, right? How easy is it just to install new drives, like SSDs?
You plug them in, and then you go to that one menu that I forget where it's located, and you format it.
Right. Do you have to like buy cable separately, or does it come in the box? I feel like the questions I'm asking are really fucking dumb, but I don't know the
No,
answers.
I don't think the cables come with the drives. They come with like the motherboard.
Mate, I got this like fucking 5-6 years ago. Like, I do not have the cables for the drive.
Yeah, so I mean, you might as well
Right.
just get like some cables. They cost like $1.
Okay. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna have to bring my PC out and probably see if I need to get like one of those bays or whatever.
Don't need bays, just like dangle it.
But like, yeah, I haven't. Because my biggest problem at the moment, I mean, it's always been a problem, I guess. But now with how games are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, like, I did like what was recommended at the time, which is get a small SSD for boots.
Yes.
and a large hard drive for storage.
Yeah, that's what I still do.
Yeah,
Except
but
I've
like,
kind of got large for everything because I'm a fucking e-hoarder.
well, see that right. This is the thing, though, right? With all my programs and shit, and then obviously, just the formatting. I only have about like 150 gigabytes of SSD space at any one time, which or down to like if I uninstall all my games from everything, I get about 130, 140 gigs. So it basically means I can have like one AAA game and a bunch of small games.
Well, the answer is
And
easy.
luckily
Don't play fucking AAA shit.
but like it's sort of
You know what
I'm
you know what you can play instead of AAA shit?
well
Fucking Noita.
nice segue, but okay, let me just finish this, right? So it's sort of like I'm probably using triple or quadruple the amount of like data I could get away with because I'm constantly uninstalling and reinstalling games. Because my internet speed's like 10 megabytes a second, 10 megabytes a second a download. So it at most takes like an hour or two.
Yeah.
So it's not terrible, but yeah, like I'm getting really frustrated from it. So I might just get like a 1 terabyte SSD just for games, and like other shit as well, I guess. Because I
I guess
remember
that works.
I remember deleting my fucking OSU folder. It's like all the music I'd accumulated. It was something like 50 gigs, and it's like it was awful. Not because I was really playing Osu, but it's sort of like if I wanted all those songs back, the amount of fucking packs and shit I'm gonna have to go through. That was legit like hours and hours and hours of work.
That's the price you pay for not
Yeah.
paying the price for like more storage.
Yeah. Honestly, it's not like SSDs are that expensive. I mean, how 1 TB SSD?
I mean,
Amazon.
we're probably at what, like less than 50 cents a gig. Way less than 50 cents a gig for solid state anyway.
Yeah, it's about 80 quid. It's at like $100.
Oh, god damn. Fuck, that shit's going down.
Yeah. I think when I got my SSD, it was like 160, 170 for 500 gig. Because I remember it was a decent commitment. Like it was way cheaper just to get like 2 hard drives, but
Well, it's always gonna be cheaper to get 2 hard drives, unless you're like me and you get really big fucking hard drives that you still somehow like fill up with shit.
actually, how much is a 2 terabyte?
What, SSD or hard drive?
SSD.
Probably.
100, 173, 192, 185. I don't need 2 terabytes of space. That would literally just replace my 2 terabyte hard drive. But man,
Do it.
actually, like, oh shit. When was NVMe? Was NVMe a thing in 2016?
Probably.
Does the Z170 support M.2? I think it does. Oh, Pog. An M.2 drive would be awesome.
I did not bother with one of those. Probably should have.
M.2 SSD. How much are they? They're like the same price. Oh no, sorry, a bit more expensive. That one's just a really cheap one. 500 gig NVMe for 73 quid. 58 quid. Fuck.
The point is, you're a broke ass motherfucker.
Tell me about it. Ugh. But yeah, okay. Backtrack to the segue. Noita.
Yes, it's a fun game that you started playing. Tell us
Yeah,
about Noita.
I only have like 3 hours in it. Yeah, it's a game where you play as Megumin. Or not Megumin, I guess, but it seems like everybody plays as Megumin.
No, like the only one I know who plays with it is me and Kibo.
Yeah. Well, you two are pretty much the only people who I know who play
Oh,
Noita, so like no, my brother also plays with Megumin, so
amazing.
yeah. Um and you go down a cavern and get wands and shoot things and everything is really Finland.
Yeah, pretty
That's it,
much.
really. I
Yeah,
haven't,
it's a fun game. Highly recommend it.
I don't think I've gotten far in it. So, and Moon was saying there's loads of secret stuff as well. So, um, yeah, I don't really have a lot to say about it. I haven't like played it enough to have a major opinion on it. So,
If you want to be as clueless as SHG, you can go play Noita too.
oh, I know we. Sorry.
I was gonna say, and if you ever end up in a point where I owe you money, you'll probably get Noita.
I know we've already done anime thing. I watched Super Cub yesterday. It's comfy. That's it,
It's
really.
it's it's not on my shit to do list, but it's on my shit to do list.
I would not say it. I mean, it's not even finished yet, so it's like
Yeah,
I'd never
well, I think you
recommend a
don't
show that's
understand
not.
how long my shit to fucking do list is.
No, 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 mate. Okay, as somebody who's not who watches nowhere near as much anime as you, I have a huge shit to do list. So I get it. Like,
Because
so what I was going to say was like I would not. It's a decent watch. I think it's going to be comfy, but it's not like I'm not saying you've got to watch this. Like, it's
I mean,
it's
I gotta watch it like I watch every other Moe slice of life though.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm like 2 seasons behind now, and
Right.
it's becoming an issue.
God, I wish I was only 2 seasons behind.
Because I mean, binge watching, well, not even binge watching, but watching all, what was it, 7 or 8 seasons of House put me behind an entire fucking season, like anime season.
The
Uh,
Hugh
uh,
Laurie tax.
yeah, and then like I get out. I watched fucking Made in Abyss in about 2 days, which is great. It's like, oh yes, I'm making progress, and then I finally got on to my girlfriend recommending that I watched Yasuga no Sora, and it was the most fucking boring thing ever that I just kept putting it off.
Mm.
So it took me a month to watch like 12 episodes. And now I'm finally done. I'm watching Cells at Work season 2, and then I can watch the other season of Cells at Work that came out that last season, and then I've got so much fucking shit to do.
Mm.
And granted, like some of it's completely ignorable. Like apparently the whole like Uzaki-chan thing was boring as shit.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I mean, I've got Strike Witches to do. I got ReZero. Fucking Log Horizon happened as well. I'm kind of curious what Higurashi was all about. I've got the second season of fucking Yuru Camp.
Yeah, I have no intention of ever watching fucking Higurashi.
Did you decide that Rinpo's shitposts were enough?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, pretty much.
I'm kind of curious about it.
I'm of the opinion it's sort of like TF2, where anybody who's still playing TF2 in 2021 belongs on the fringes of society.
So why do we still have fucking asbestos in the server? We just...
That's a good question. That is a very good question. I am not against you on that. And yeah, I guess my opinion on Higurashi, not really knowing anything actually about it, but my opinion on just observing people who seem to be really into Higurashi is not that dissimilar.
Well, the thing is, I'm kind of interested in it in the same way I'm also interested in Umineko.
What's that?
That's the thing that Buttery shitposts are about, that whole like gothic murder mystery paranormal thing.
So not Chainsaw Man.
No, not Chainsaw Man. The one with like the cackling girl. If you've ever like seen them.
Oh yeah, I think I know what you mean. Yeah.
Hang on, can we at Buttery?
Buttery is a top shill, I will say that.
It does interest me, particularly because I think the OST to it is fucking banger without ever actually watching it. And apparently it is somehow related to Higurashi or something.
Alright, I'm never watching it then.
It feels like it's a fucking headache to follow. Because like they go, oh, the VNs are on Steam, and then there's like 15 of them, and they're all called the same thing, but with something slightly different. And I was like, what the fuck?
Are you talking about Higurashi?
Higurashi and Umineko. Like, I don't know where the fuck to start, and I'm not entirely prepared to ask Buttery where to start yet.
See, I've literally never bought anything to do with it, and I somehow have like 7 Higurashi games.
That's probably just like humble bundles.
Yeah.
Also, it doesn't help that, yeah, because it's old as shit, like, the artwork is fucking abysmal.
Yeah, does not look good.
It was a different time back when like everyone was still learning how to use like digital drawing software. Which at that it kind of really highlights like if you have read other VNs from back in that time, when you remember the ones that looked good, you're like, damn, these guys were fucking onto something back in the day. Like Bible Black, it looks fucking amazing even today, and it's about as old as all that shit.
Is Bible Black the hentai one?
Yes, it's the infamous hentai one where you like use the power of Satan to fuck girls, and then Satan fucks you, or something. I only read like half the roots, but it has a hentai, and I only get about halfway through that as well, because then I like pull my dick out, forget about it for 3 months, go back and start from the beginning.
Well,
so that's my summary of yeah, Umineko and Higurashi. It's a thing.
I promised Buttery I'd read Chainsaw Man, but Manga Dex has been down for like a month, so
Yeah, it's gonna be down for the foreseeable future, so you better find a like alternative.
damn.
Or be like me and just give up on reading. I mean, all I ever really read was fucking the small green girl.
Yeah.
That's like, I actually read a couple of other things. There was this one interesting like isekai about like a woman who gets isekai'd with this dweeb into this like really misogynistic society, so she becomes a prostitute. That was fun. I'm not doing it any like service there at all. I'd give you the name, but man.
Oh right. Yeah, the Beto one.
Oh, did he post something? There we
He
go.
just
Yeah, there we go.
yeah.
All right. I don't know. Did you have anything? You said you had something about school to talk about, didn't you?
Just, I mean, schools. So I've got two more things. I've got just school. That's probably only like a few minutes, to be fair. And then I have football.
All right, football.
I'll do school so that anybody who's not interested in football can just stop watching after that. uh, yeah, so my Easter break ends in 3 days.
Yeah.
So I go back on Monday, and it's my exam period. And I'll be perfectly honest, I spent way too much of this holiday period sat on my ass doing nothing. So the past sort of week has been really hectic. I was so concerned with the amount of work I had to do that like I uninstalled Discord.
Yeah,
But
that didn't
then like
fucking work out.
well yeah, so then I had made plans with some people to do like study groups and shit. And so I like on the next day I did one with a guy which is its own thing. Um, and we made really fucking good progress. So I started feeling a hell of a lot better. And so I just immediately came back the next day. It's like, okay, maybe I think I just had a bit of a breakdown yesterday, but no, I feel like I'm on track with work. So it's been a scenario where like apart from playing Noita for that little bit, I haven't really played any games. It's pretty much just been like studying in the afternoon, then do crossword, and then in the evening do another study group and study to the evening, and then go to bed. So, not a lot has sort of went on in my life, but it's been a really fucking intensive week, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm feeling a lot better, I guess, in a way. That was it, really. Also, the guy who I thought was a femboy is not a femboy. He's just a dude.
Yeah. I think I need to go take a shit.
I can take a cigarette break.
Yeah. So like a funny story amongst all this, because obviously like being sick, I've been keeping my fluids up. So for the past like 3 days, I have been like shitting water out my ass.
Yeah.
So like last night, my housemate was like, "Do you want some pills to stop you from shitting?" And I was like, "Sure, this is like the perfect time to experiment with magic
Yeah,
pills."
I've had one of those before, mate.
And
Fuck it.
I'll be honest, it doesn't stop me from shitting, but it does give me a hell of a fucking stomach pain, like right above the groin. And
Like
yeah,
I when I went to the US, I got really sick like 3 times. Not really sick, but like sort of like that food poisoning sort of sickness. And I just get travel sick typically. And while we were in New York City for a couple of days, I had really bad shits. And so my teacher like escorted me to a fucking like a pharmacy in Times Square to get me some fucking pills to stop me shitting. And they were the weirdest. They didn't actually like do anything except automatically plug like sort of you know when you've really got shit and you're like tightening your sphincter, right? You're like clenching.
Yeah.
It just did that automatically, so
Yeah.
it didn't feel like I was like,
I kind of understand what you mean. So yeah, I'm gonna stop.
yeah, oh, you gotta go shit.
I'm gonna go do something about this, like profusely sweating right now.
All right, okay, yeah, you go. I'll go
Well,
for smoke. See
well,
you.
you have a smoke. We'll come back. I'll crop this out, and we'll talk about the footballs.
All right. Sorry about that.
Mm-hmm.
I lost my AirPod case, so I had to put my headphones back. It took me like 5 minutes to find them.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
But yeah, uni. I'm nervous about my exams, but
I think we established all that. What was left was the football.
oh yeah, yeah. Um, did I say everything? Did I talk about the femboy thing?
Briefly while I was like walking out the door.
Oh,
I think
okay then.
maybe.
If it's covered.
If you want to know more about SSG's aspirations for his classmates, you can join the server. Link in the description below.
My aspirations have been dashed. Is the thing. So I thought this person was like a femboy or trans. Nope, they're just a guy who's a bit androgynous, and is absolutely hetero. So yeah, that's it.
Probably gets more pussy than you.
Probably. Yeah, football. Oh god. Okay. Yeah, strap in. So the past week in football has been one of the most significant weeks in football's history.
Go
But
on.
there's sorry.
Go on.
So first we have to understand why this is significant. And to do that, you have to understand how football is governed. So, to begin, there are several federations and such that we need to know first. So first, football is organised on the national level by national associations. This is typically, so the FFA is the French Football Association. These are football associations. Every country has one. These are the countries that send teams. Like these are the organizations that send teams to events like the World Cup. All of them have their country as a prefix, except England, because we were the first. So ours is just the FA. But most of them would be like the IFA, the Irish Football Association. These organize the game at the national level, typically working with tournaments and leagues and such. However, some of the very big groups have separate leagues with their own governing body. So in England, this is very sort of political in that you have the Football League, and then you have the Football Association, and then you have the Premier League, which was a breakaway league. I swear this is important. They were a breakaway league to get more money in their own commercial rights from the Football League, and they were backed by the Football Association. So the Football Association and the Football League do not get on because they're both vying for essentially dominance over English football. And the Premier League is kind of a separate entity, but it works together in the system of the best teams from the top of the Football League, which is the Championship, will be invited to join the Premier League. in sort of the promotion relegation structure. The two other groups that we need to know in this case are FIFA and UEFA. So FIFA, the Fédération Internationale Football Association, I think.
Amazing
is,
French accent.
is the sort of the world governing body focused on promoting football throughout the world. They organize events such as the World Cup and the Club World Cup, which they're really trying to promote. The Club World Cup. So the World Cup is for countries, and the Club World Cup is what they want for clubs, for teams to participate in.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have UEFA, which is the Union of European Football Associations, which is sort of like kind of like FIFA, but only for Europe. But it's very important because Europe is sort of the premier market for football, and they organize the European Championship, the Euros, which is sort of the World Cup, but just for teams in Europe. And they organize the Champions League, which is the sort of the top level of competition for club football. Yeah. So okay. So basically, every nation has its own league or own league structure with several leagues in it, and the best teams from each league are invited to play in European football in the UEFA tournament called the Champions League. So in the Premier League, you will have like Manchester United versus Liverpool, but you'll also have Manchester United versus Burnley, or West Ham or something, right?
Some place no one gives a shit about except the people living there.
Exactly, right.
Cool. Kind of like Newcastle.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were. Yeah. And whereas in the Champions League, they will be playing teams like, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, PSG, Bayern Munich, all the best teams in Europe. So there's, because of all of these power struggles, like all of these groups and all of these power struggles, for essentially rights over who gets the most money, who gets the most prestige, who gets to decide the schedules. Basically, there's way too many games being played right now, because all of these tournaments, like, want to be the most prestigious and want to have their own tournament every year that people participate in.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Apologies. So there's way too many matches, and many people have sort of complained about this. Normal people because people can't afford to watch all the games. Players because they're having to play way more, and managers having to manage it. Players are getting more injured and things like that. And so everyone wants something else to give way. Wants their own tournament to become more prestigious, have more money, so they get shown on TV and all that.
Yeah.
And so the big thing that's happened here is on Sunday, an announcement was made that 12 clubs were formally starting their own league called the Super League. Now,
Dun, dun, dun.
This idea is not new. It's been proposed for a long time. It's never been popular because of what I'll get into. And it's been used as a bargaining chip with UEFA. So UEFA have the sort of the most popular and sort of the most prestigious club level tournament available, which is the Champions League. Whereas the national associations, the national leagues, the Premier League is very popular, but some of the other ones are less so. And everybody sort of wants a piece of the pie. And the big clubs are fearing being left behind by the Premier League from other countries. So an idea of a European Super League, which rather than being this sort of, because the Champions League and the actual national tournaments, the Premier League or Ligue 1 or the Bundesliga, go on at the same time. National games take place on the weekends and European games take place on weekdays. Teams now, sort of this sort of top echelon team, want just a pure Super League that would replace the national game, like replace the national level, and they get to control the rights to the money and all that. So they would be right at the top, and it would cut into the Champions League because now we have a European tournament where Real Madrid and Manchester United are playing playing twice or 3 times a year. That will make a lot of money. The reasons why this is incredibly bad, or at least incredibly bad if you're a fan of football, is essentially the way the league is structured. It's an American-style league in that there is no promotional relegation. And these founding clubs that were joining are essentially permanent members of this league. This means that all the money they earn, it's not in jeopardy, so they just get richer, so they stay at the top. In America, this is normal. This is how all, the NFL, MLB, all that, this is, they're franchises, right? They're not independent teams, they're franchises, and they all get a piece of the pie. And there's no jeopardy because they're, financial
stability
investments. Yeah. However, clubs are independent. With all of these sorts of tournaments, they're all run by separate organizations, and the club is a separate identity that is invited to participate in all of these tournaments and such. So, by having a Super League, which is the highest echelon of the game, it means that teams are locked out. Like, Newcastle are shit, right?
Yeah.
They're shit. But if Newcastle are really shit, they go down. They're kicked out the league, which we've actually had a slight resurgence, but looked very possible this year. We were going to get kicked out the Premier League. This means that we have to play shit teams, go to more shit places. There's less money in the team, so we have less players. Like, it sucks, but it means that matches always matter. In America, if teams do badly, they get rewarded with more money and draft picks and such to, make them good again. Or that's the theory. In football, if you're shit, you're kicked out. Like, you're just done. But there's also the dream that if Newcastle do well, then they'll get to the top. They'll get into Europe, which means that people from all over the continent, all over the world, will come to Newcastle and watch games. And this has happened. Newcastle weren't always shit. And, people from all across Europe would come every year to watch these matches and to put money into the local economy. It's very prestigious. I mean, think about it. Manchester isn't really that significant of a city in England, right? It's like the 4th biggest city. London, Birmingham. Okay, maybe Manchester's like the 3rd city. But Manchester's one of the most...
there's an entire strip of big cities there that I don't really understand why.
Well, like Manchester, Liverpool.
Hang on. I'll go look at this.
What, like Sheffield, Leeds? They're all in sort of that same area.
Yeah, hang on. I need to go to the map. Always puts me in New Zealand. Yeah, like those four. Yeah, Liverpool, Manchester, Leeds, and Sheffield. And
Yeah,
I don't really get why.
because they're all on big mining deposits. They're all
Oh.
northern industrial cities.
Oh, that makes sense.
Newcastle is further away, but it's the industry was always in the north.
Yeah.
The good, honest, hard-working folk.
Well, I knew Birmingham was, but that's mostly just because Black Sabbath. Like yeah, all the guys there used to be fucking steel workers in Birmingham.
Yeah,
and that's yeah, like how Tommy I always forget if it's Tommy or Tony, but yeah, he lost his like 2 fingers on his right hand.
Oh shit, yeah.
Well, not the entire finger, but like the 2 top
tips.
bits of the tips of the middle and the index. And he got them replaced, and yeah, all I knew was that was Birmingham.
But... Yeah, I mean, pretty much anywhere north of London really was a lot more industrial. But yeah, but think about how many people across the world know the city of Manchester because of its teams, because of the sport, right? Like Manchester United, you could be in fucking Uganda or something, and people will know Manchester United.
That's because Uganda's got nothing going on but fucking football and civil war, but.
I mean, fuck you. I mean, but really, like anywhere, right? Like, the prestige of sort of having the big club, like Real Madrid, right? Like world famous. And there is the dream. It's romanticism, sure, but there is the dream that if you're well managed, any team can reach that height.
It's the entire premise of Football Manager, and why they can get away with making a game every fucking year.
Yeah. Wow, lads, I've got Lincoln to the promised land. Lincoln just knocked out Paris Saint-Germain. But yeah, so to have it but with this league, that top level would be locked off. Would be cut off. You couldn't join. Because these established teams have just committed to make themselves richer. It ruins the integrity of the game. Also, a lot of the clubs who joined this joined because of the pandemic and all that. They're not doing very good financially. And some of them aren't doing very well in the league. So, for example, let me pull up the...
So who is in it? I guess.
Okay. Well, so it was Manchester United, Manchester City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham Hotspur, and Liverpool in England. It was Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Atletico Madrid in Spain. And it was Juventus, Inter Milan, and AC Milan in Italy. And these are all...
I've heard of maybe half of those names, so I guess they're like pretty good.
Yeah, they're all the big established teams. Sort of the 2 notable countries of sort of the big 5 countries is France and Germany. Those teams did not join. Okay, I may as well talk about this now. So the biggest French team, Paris Saint-Germain, didn't join because they're owned by Qatar. Now, the reason why PSG are a highly vilified club is because they're one of 2 teams that are owned by a nation state. And they are owned for what's termed as sports washing. That is, to invest money into a sports team that does well, so it increases the soft power of the regime. The other one being Manchester City, which is owned by, I think it's the UAE.
It wouldn't surprise me.
And Newcastle was going to be the 3rd team, because Newcastle, when we were talking like last year about Newcastle possibly being taken over, that was by the Saudi Arabian government. So Newcastle were potentially going to be the third team. But yeah, so they get a lot of money pumped in. Unlike a lot of these other billionaire owners, it's not a financial investment for them. They're fine losing money because the whole point of it is like you're going to have a bunch of people in Paris or a bunch of people in Manchester saying, well, you know, the Qataris aren't that bad. You know, they're putting money into our club, you know, our community. They do lots of charity work and all that. But also, Qatar has this. I can't believe I know about Middle Eastern television politics, right? But Qatar own a company called beIN, and beIN Sport, and they have the rights to the Champions League in the Middle East. So if you want to watch the Champions League, just the top tier echelon, you pay for beIN. Now, the Saudi Arabians don't like the Qataris, and so they run a pirate service called beOut Sport, which is a free pirate service which streams beIN Sport. And it's sort of one of the soft sort of cold wars between these countries. Which is one of the reasons
I really
why...
do wish I knew more of the politics in the region, because it sounds like a fucking laugh.
Well, okay, this is the thing, right? Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund was rejected from purchasing Newcastle United, not because of their human rights problems, not because of all the shit, you know, they do, or the exporting of, you know, Wahhabist Islam or terrorist connections. They were refused because they were pirating IPs, sporting IPs, and, you know, giving them out for free to fuck over the Qataris. Right, that was what stopped them taking over, was IP infringement.
It's a wonderful time to be alive.
Yeah, so they get a lot of money from UEFA, from the Champions League. So, and because fans don't like this, Paris Saint-Germain, despite being a very money-hungry, you know, money-grabbing club, didn't join. And the two big German teams, Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund, didn't join because they're owned by fans. The German sort of Germany does things weird in that they're not owned by billionaires, they're owned by fans. It's called the 50+1 rule, where 51% of the club has to be owned by fans of the club. There's two exceptions in German football, which is RB Leipzig and Bayer Leverkusen. These were old teams founded in you know, sometime in the 30s, when a certain political government was trying to promote sport for fit, strong German men. And so companies would run teams. So RB Leipzig are owned by Red Bull, and Bayer Leverkusen are owned by Bayer, the pharmaceutical company. Oh shit, there's another one. Who's the... Sorry. I've got to... No, because RB Leipzig are a new one. That's why they're hated. But Volkswagen own a team. Bundesliga team. And we all know who founded Volkswagen. Or VfL Wolfsburg is the Volkswagen team. So VfL Wolfsburg and Bayer Leverkusen are sort of let off because they were done in like the 30s. RB Leipzig is hated because from a loophole they managed to get a company to own them, and it's Red Bull. So they're quite disliked. But all the German teams refused because the fans would hate it. So it was really only the Premier League teams, the Italian teams, and the Spanish teams. But the Premier League one had a bit of weirdness about it, where a bunch of the clubs joined because they weren't doing so well. So, like, what I wanted to bring up was the league table. So it was all the top 6 teams that joined, but not all the top 6 teams are in the top 6. So right now, it's actually looking fairly decent for them. It was worse later on, earlier on, but only 4 of the 6 clubs of actually in the top six. It's not the best six teams in Europe, in England right now. Arsenal are 9th, and Liverpool are 7th. Tottenham were actually 11th at one point. And so teams that are ahead of them include West Ham, Everton, and Leeds United. And Leicester City. And they were not invited to join the league because they're not the old established elite clubs. And this is sort of how it's been, where it's been the old established clubs that have been invited to join to maintain their supremacy over football. But yeah, keeping a sort of having an American style system just ruins the sporting integrity of the game. It makes it Americanized, which nobody likes.
Except Americans, but
yeah, I mean that's essentially the heart of it.
I mean, there's, I don't know. It is a weird, like, obviously I don't know, like 2/3 or 3/5 of fuck all. But I'd like to say that there is a free market element to this, where it's like, if this league turns out to be, really, really, really stale and shit, people just stop watching it.
Well,
but they're not, because
right.
Shit like Manchester United at this point is too big to fail.
Yeah. and this is the thing, right? The reason why Champions League matches make so much money is because they're rare. I think Manchester United versus Real Madrid has only happened 2 or 3 times in the past decade. This would happen 2 to 4 times every season now. The lure of all these big clubs facing each other, the reason it's great is because it's rare. This would just become the norm. But the fact of the matter is, the Premier League and all these things are watched all across the world. Sure, fans in England may not like it, but does, Chang in China give a shit? No, he just wants to watch, Manchester United versus, Juventus or whatever, right? Every week. Yeah, or Troy in America, right? He probably doesn't give a shit. Except that the backlash was so great, because people in these other countries that have this more American style system, it's one of the reasons why people get into football. It's because of the sort of the independence. And
yeah,
I'm not trying to say that football is perfect. Football has been trending on a far more commercial bent for the past 20 years. I mean, Newcastle used to be owned by local businessmen. Before that, it was owned by, it used to be owned by fans and sort of prominent people in the city. Then it was owned by local business magnates, and now it's owned by a guy from the south who uses it to promote his clothing, his cheap sportswear, and shit. Right? A bunch of these big clubs are now owned by Americans who look for the financial investment, right? And a bunch of them are owned by literal nation states. Gulf states to promote themselves.
So that they have something to do when the fucking oil runs out.
Exactly, right? Yeah, exactly. And also promote all of their fucking air companies, their airways, right?
Also, something to do when oil runs out.
So, make no mistake, football has been trending like this for quite a while. But this was always a thing that was a bargaining chip. Like, UEFA, you've got to give us more money, give us more games, and such, or we'll form our own league, and UEFA always goes, okay, fine, right, we'll do it, right? But this threat has never been realized. It was realized now. Everybody hates it. And, everybody hates it, and everybody's united for very different reasons. So, the Premier League don't like it, because the Premier League is the most valuable league. The top clubs playing in Europe all the time, and it being a permanent league, will make the Super League the most valuable league. So the Premier League doesn't like it.
At that point, I guess what you can do is, someone who's now being shafted by the Super League, is go, okay, now that we don't have these fuckwits, what cool shit can we do?
Here's right. This is the thing, right? This is what loads of people are saying is, you know what? Actually, our league would be way better if we didn't have a bunch of these rich clubs just monopolizing power. Like, yeah. So a bunch of people are saying, you know what? Go on, do it. Like, fucking do it, right? Like, because your value is going to drop, you know, and we can actually play our, play our sport, you know, and more teams can win and get bigger. So yes, that's what a lot of people have said. But okay, so the Premier League don't like it because of that, right? UEFA don't like it because this will invalidate the Champions League. FIFA don't like it because UEFA is subordinate to them, and also they're trying to promote their Club World Cup. They don't want another big tournament vying with them. All of the clubs in the leagues in which teams are joining don't like it because, you know, all these little shithole places make money when the big clubs come to their city, right? Like, more people will want to watch, you know, Liverpool than, you know, Cheltenham, right? So everyone doesn't like it. But the big thing that you know, the Super League they were fine with all of this because they knew that they were on the right side of the law, right? You know, the law protects them from doing this. They're perfectly allowed to do this.
Yeah.
So they can strengthen that out. Except there's one thing they didn't factor in, which is the governments don't like it. Because, funnily enough, the government makes quite a bit of money off the Premier League. And the fact that, yeah, it's quite a big part of, you know, yeah, okay, maybe people, you know, online maybe don't care about football, but it's a big part of sort of the UK soft power is the Premier League and shit. So the government doesn't like it. So the government have said, well, we're going to change the law then. So you can't do this. Yeah. So basically, they've pissed everyone off. This has been the most sort of united people have been in football. And all the clubs started dropping like flies. On Tuesday, all the English clubs pulled out. Wednesday, most of the continental clubs dropped. Right now, I think it's only Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Juventus are still in it. And they're all backtracking.
You can't really have a three-way circle jerk.
Exactly, right? Exactly. So, yeah, it's pretty dead as a doornail at the moment. But see, the thing is now, okay, German fans are known for being very active and very protective of their clubs because they own parts of them, right? Italian clubs have what are called ultras, which are basically hooligans, and they know that if they do bad shit, their ultras will come and assault their players and burn their houses down. This has all happened before. Yeah, when Ronaldo was talked about perhaps leaving Juventus, Agnello, I can't remember, but the CEO of Juventus was confronted outside of his house by a group of masked men, and he thought he was being robbed, and it turned out it was just a bunch of ultras from Juventus telling him that something bad will happen to him if Ronaldo leaves. So, you know, and they bring flares in and all that, but British, like English fans have always sort of been like, they don't really care, they'll tut at you and whatever, but, you know, they'll just go along. And with huge demonstrations that have happened with English fans has sort of been another thing that they weren't expecting. And sort of now, a lot of the mood is, you know what? Football has been getting shit for ages. And we've always said there's nothing we can do about it. But we've just stopped this. So you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna now campaign for all this other shit that we want. We want fan ownership. And the government is now going, you know what? Actually, fan ownership would be good. We can tax it. You know what? We're gonna promote all these rich owners selling their clubs. Right? Because also we can tax the money from everything they sell. right? So now it's all coming down around them, and it's fucking great. It's amazing. Yeah.
Oh.
Are you enjoying that?
Kind of.
So
Oh.
the thing is, right, this might actually be the saving of football right now, is a bunch of greedy men who thought they could do what they want, greedy Americans. Yes, I will use the A word. And
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
all...
and then like, so in 6 months' time, when like everything's burnt down, you see like fucking Mike Ashley skulking in the streets, trying to evade getting like captured by the fucking mob, chained
Yeah.
up and like dragged through fucking Newcastle.
Yeah, pretty much. Again, Newcastle had no connections to the Super League. We're too shit for it. Already, there's been huge protests. There's been more protesting in the past few days than there has been in the past few years. Like, this has galvanized all fans, like, just across the across the nation,
I do.
because we now know that we have power. It's great.
I do hope the Fat Man Mike, makes it out of this all right though.
I did read a joke where it's like, somebody made a shit post where it's like, Mike Ashley is actually the savior of English football. See, Mike Ashley didn't join the Super League, he's actually one of the good guys. I wonder what he's doing now, and somebody else has posted, yeah, Mike's just sat by his phone wondering why he's not invited. It's right up his Strasser, he'd love it. But yeah, so this has been an incredibly significant week because, again, football has never had a closed league in its 150 years of codified history. So that in and of itself is hugely significant. A bunch of clubs trying to break up the competitive spirit of the sport. And now it's become significant because of the demonstrations and the fact that fans are like, you know what, there's tons of injustices. Because the big thing was like UEFA were like really happy when clubs started leaving. And now fans are saying to everyone, saying, no, fuck you, UEFA. You've been doing shit as well. We're coming after you next. Fuck you. And
Football lives matters. I don't know how to
yeah.
make this. I don't know how to make it more funny than it already is, or at least turn it into a meme.
Yeah, I'm
But
having a grand old time, mate.
I'm
I was very
having a
upset.
grand time by proxy.
I was actually really upset because it looked like it was going to happen. I'd resigned to the fact it was going to happen, so I was very pissed. But then,
I guess I'm glad I got my opinions on it out before I found out what happened next.
Well, yeah, as soon as you sent that you wanted to know what happened in the pod, I stopped talking about it. I'm like, okay, well, if we're going to talk about it here, then, But yeah, I've been following it, of course. So,
Followed a damn thing. No, yeah, it feels good.
Yeah,
feels good, man.
There was something else as well, but I think it's escaped me. There was something else that was funny. Oh yeah, a bunch of the executives have had to resign and like flee the country as well. The guy who runs Manchester United had to leave. I mean, it's not actually the best. He was getting a lot of death threats and shit, so I guess that's maybe not funny, but
well, death threats are always funny.
Oh yeah, so but yeah, all these all these teams that thought they were gonna have just essentially radicalized a bunch of fans, against them. So
I look forward to seeing Qatar and the UAE kicked out of ownership.
That might be the one thing that Newcastle is different than the rest of the world on. Because again, we all like. I'd rather we keep Mike Ashley then the UAE takes us over. But as much as I hate to say this, that is not the common opinion in Newcastle. People fucking hate Mike Ashley, and they want him out by any means. And if that means the Saudi Arabia takes us over, then the Muslims were always pretty decent, weren't they? Like
I do love a kebab.
exactly right. So yeah,
I could actually really go for a kebab right now. I haven't had one in a while.
Same to be fair.
You don't get to talk about you and your no sauce having ass. You don't get to talk about fucking kebabs.
I get garlic sauce on a kebab. What you on about?
All right, well, there's a start, I guess.
No, I don't get sauce on like chips.
I mean, same.
There's nothing wrong with sauce.
Well, that's mostly just because I can't be fucked getting the sauce at that time. I've already sat down. I'm eating.
Yeah.
The sauce is not on the table. Well,
but I'm all for sauce.
There's usually like mint sauce on the table, but that's for something. That's
mint sauce is only for like a roast.
Yeah, lamb.
Yeah.
Which reminds me.
Yeah, but not like kebab lamb. Like.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're talking about chips.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Fucking hell. I do have a lamb leg that I've got to start putting in the slow cooker now, though.
Ooh. I haven't had lamb in so long.
I've had it significantly more since like moving out, just because I seem to always get it on sale. Like, why yes, I do want like 3 days worth of meat at like $6 a kilo. How could you tell?
Yeah, rip your fucking ass.
What?
Red meats, man. It's not good. It's not good for your shits. Not that stops me, but it's not good for your shits.
That's news to me.
Yeah.
Oh. It's been fun, Fuck it, it's over. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye. See you later.